about evolution, the Big Bang Theory, and all this science shit. How come, like, every planet I've ever seen, including Earth, is round?
Hello, this is J.R. Chadwick. This video is in response to StonedCommander after our discussion in the comments for video Earth Size posted by PSIFI. You can read the discussion for yourself. Most of it is irrelevant for this video. I asked StonedCommander if he knew now why the planets are round, and he responded with the following. I could never say with absolute certainty why the planets are round. I could, however, speculate that round is the most practical shape. Every point can be traversed from every direction. Maybe God likes round. You must admit that gravity alone couldn't do anything. Explain how matter is drawn together in such equal amounts, giving every planet enough to be round. How did the gas giants form? Are you suggesting that all like gas types miraculously found each other? Explain black holes. I know he watched Creationist Junk Debunk number 3, posted by Potholer54 Debunks. However, for some reason, he did not believe his explanation of gravity, or perhaps StonedCommander just does not want to admit his mistake. At any rate, I will attempt to explain it in a different way. The questions posed by StonedCommander are about as much a mystery as the color of the sky, so I have ample sources to construct my video. However, instead of divulging into a lot of scientific detail just to be misunderstood, misquoted, and mocked out of ignorance, I have decided to use simple demonstrations to test the StonedCommander's logic. Why are the planets round? Well, I could demonstrate using the geometry skills of a middle school student that spheres have the smallest surface area to volume ratio, and therefore spheres are the natural result of the gravitational force attempting to draw matter into a single point, but I think a visual demonstration might be more appropriate. Let's examine this ice crystal. Obviously it has an irregular shape, but what happens when we leave it on my counter for a while? Of course it will begin to melt, but why don't we take a closer look at it? Alright, we'll come back in a little while. Hope you get a good enough view. We're back, and let's check out our ice crystal. The little one melted completely, but the big one is still there, and it's developed an obviously rounder shape. The edges are not nearly as sharp and is a lot smoother. Admittedly, this experiment is less about gravity and more about the surface tension of water and the electromagnetic force. However, I believe my point still can be made clear. Circles and spheres are very common in our universe, but how does this prove God made the universe? Is God simply obsessed with round things? Sounds like a form of obsessive-compulsive disorder to me. Couldn't I use the same logic to prove God does not exist? If a God did form all the planets and stars, I would think that he would get bored of making them all the same shape. So if God exists, I think we should see things like planet cylinder, planet cone, and my favorite, planet hyperboloid of one sheet. Perhaps you follow the beliefs of pre-Kepler times, when all models of the universe were required to be comprised of only perfect spheres and perfect circles. No, in your video Evolution Questions, you state that the Big Bang Theory says we're all a bunch of debris from a rock that exploded. This proves you really do not understand the Big Bang Theory. If you want to attack something, especially a scientific theory, you really should try to understand it first. For one thing, the Big Bang was not an explosion, it was an expansion of space-time. And furthermore, your statement that if you blew up a bowling ball, none of the fragments would be round is also incorrect. If there is enough heat in the explosion, the heat will liquefy your bowling ball, and much like water, the liquid material will form raindrop-shaped debris. Your second question implied that the gas giants had to have been made by God because it is too improbable for that amount of gas to have miraculously coalesced in those 4 specific areas of the solar system. You are most likely basing this belief on the creationist misunderstanding of probability. If you are asserting that planetary formation not guided by intelligence implies that the planet should have randomly coalesced into more or less homogeneous structures, you are sorely mistaken. Look at this picture. Amazing how all those water molecules miraculously found each other. And all those sand grains, they found each other too! In reality, we have a very good understanding of why matter tends to order itself in certain ways. Allow me to illustrate. This girl has some ping pong balls and black beans. The ping pong balls are full of air, so their average density is small. The black beans' average density is high. Placing the ping pong balls under the beans can be interpreted as a crude representation of the protostellar nebula, which eventually collapsed and became the solar system which we know and love today. If you could ever get them underneath the beans. Yes, very fun. Shaking this bowl will represent the accretion of our solar system. And look at that, the ping pong balls just pop right to the surface. But what does this all mean? Well, from your logic, God just likes to have everything in certain orders. Ping pong balls on top of beans, hydrogen farther out in the solar system. Now you're making God sound like he has Asperger's syndrome. To expand on this demonstration, Earth and the other inner planets cannot hold on to that much hydrogen because we are too close to the Sun. Hydrogen is very light, so it does not need much energy to escape Earth's gravitational pull. Way out in Jupiter's orbit, temperatures are much cooler, which allows hydrogen to accrete in abundance. And finally, you asked me to explain black holes. I am not sure what to make of this statement. I could launch into a lengthy explanation of the fundamental force constants and the life cycle of different main sequence stars. However, I do not think that would be prudent. Why do you bring up black holes? How have you warped the fragments of information you have collected to view black holes as a threat to your world view? Surely you do not think you are capable of refuting the work, no, the career of Professor Stephen W. Hawking, arguably the smartest human being ever to have existed. So I say again, StonedCommander, you really need to gain an understanding of a subject in order to argue about it. This is my textbook from a class I took at Cabrillo College in 2004. There are other books available, such as Astronomy Today by Chasen and Macmillan. Maybe this book is a good starting point for you, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Astronomy. In conclusion, I suggest you do some research, and when you compose your next video, please demonstrate what you disagree with. I await your response. Thank you for watching, and once again, my name is J.R. Chadwick.